Hey guys, thanks for hopping on the CLC podcast. Today I am joined with the amazing Beth Erb. Beth, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. And so today we're talking about introducing you to our team. A lot of us, we know you already, but I know you're transitioning into a new role.
I am.
You want to tell us about that?
I'm super excited about it. It is the Connections Director. So I'll be working mainly with the ministry leaders and helping them get the volunteers that they need, working with the congregation, doing spiritual gifts assessments, figuring out where everybody wants to fit, where they feel like they're called to be, and really building relationships and helping people find their place here in the church.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Such a huge part of what we do. It's
Yeah.
one of the core tenets of what
Yeah.
we believe here with serving. So how long have you been here? I know you've worked in a few different capacities here.
I have. I started part-time at the front desk like 3 years ago, maybe. And then that turned into full-time, which then turned into me working for CAT in adult ministries as the adult ministries event coordinator and working with Greta as her assistant. So now moving into Connections Director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it about that role or that idea about the connections and serving piece? What was it about that kind of excited you?
Basically, my entire career, once I started doing social services type jobs back in 2005, I believe, was with the Hurricane Katrina evacuees. And so I worked with a program in Memphis that rehoused those individuals. And once I started doing that kind of work, it just seems like that's what I ended up doing. So I worked on various different programs, contract programs that served the community in different capacities. And then after I left there, I went to Goodwill and worked with them on, again, different programs, but mainly working with individuals to help them reach their potential. So worked on job training programs and job placement, building relationships with different community partners and placing our individuals with disabilities within those companies, and then helped start an adult charter school for adults to go back and get their high school diploma. So basically everything that I've done has been to help individuals reach their goals, like to go from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really exciting to do that and help people on their faith journey to do that, because I'm still walking and learning on my journey, and I just think it'd be really cool. And I'm trying to live into God's purpose for me, and I think that'd be really cool to help someone else find their purpose. Yeah.
I love it. I've heard you talk about, just when we've talked before about your previous jobs and some of the stops you've had and things you've learned. I love that you mentioned how you get to know the individual and it's not the same thing for everybody. We respond to different things. And I think a lot of what you said too about the spiritual giftings we all have. And I love that that's kind of a really the heartbeat of what you want to bring is if there are people like, hey, I want to serve, but I don't know where.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a way to kind of figure out?
Yes. But like you said, I think it's building the relationship too. So it's not going to be just, hey, here's a test. And me get the results of it and place you somewhere. It's really going to be having those conversations, meeting with you, seeing what your past experiences have been and what you really feel like your passion is, and if you already feel a calling. So doing that will be really fulfilling to me, but I hope it will be for the individual too.
Absolutely. Yep. The last couple of weeks, we've had our legacy roundtables. We've had a lot of great feedback, great thoughts and conversations around those ideas, specifically serving.
Yeah.
Has there been a big takeaway that you got from that on what you're hearing about it?
Yeah. We've heard that people aren't really aware of the needs that we have for volunteers, because it seems like most of the time everything's covered and we just manage with what we have, when in reality we're short maybe like 100 volunteers a weekend for Sunday services. So we want to make sure that the church is aware of the needs that we have, but also we want to make sure that they know where to go to sign up, that the needs that we have, those positions are described in detail so that someone will feel comfortable doing that. We are going to be offering training for those roles, because not everyone is comfortable just walking into something without having some background to it. So
Right.
we'll do that, but we're going to do lots of things like that, and I'm really excited to be part of it. I mean, because I'm just a tiny part of it, because I'll be able to work with the ministry leaders, but church leadership, different committee members, but really the body of the church is what's really exciting to me.
Yeah. I know one of the things that we heard and that you just mentioned, it's a blessing and a curse. Things look good.
Yep.
So maybe people weren't as much of aware of the need. It's kind of like the duck paddling with his feet. You don't see the feet going crazy under the water.
Yeah.
You just see everything looks calm at the top.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that we always look calm.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Could sometimes. What about the person that is afraid to kind of commit to something? Because we did hear that, maybe even past church experience where you volunteered for something and all of a sudden you're in charge of the thing for the next 5 years.
Yes. Lots of people had concerns about the time commitment like that. And some people just want to do like a one-off volunteer opportunity, and we will absolutely have those. But just because you sign up doesn't mean you have to be here all 4 Sundays for all 3 services. Really, it is going to be opportunities that fit your schedule and what you need. And each ministry has opportunities. So I don't think we'll have a hard time finding something that'll fit into people's schedules.
Right.
It's just really building that relationship and talking to the individuals and really figuring out what kind of time they have, their availability, and what our needs are. But I think some people think we only have Sunday morning as volunteer opportunities, and that's just not the case. You can volunteer with youth on Wednesday nights. KidMin and stuff absolutely is Sunday morning a lot of the time. But Addie has CARES ministries that are things you can do from your home that don't require you to have to be somewhere else at a certain time. The youth, again, will have opportunities. There'll be opportunities in adult ministry with the Encircle ministry.
Right.
Those aren't just Sunday morning things, because there are dances and stuff during the week and different things that they go to that aren't necessarily on the church premises. So I would just encourage people to reach out if they're interested. And you can reach out to us at the carts on Sunday morning.
Right.
Out in the lobby, and you can fill out a Connect card, but you can also just reach out and say you want to serve, and we will make sure to make time to sit down and visit with you and see what we can do.
Very cool. I know that, you're still kind of piecing things together because it's a lot. It's a lot to navigate, to think through, to kind of put some procedures in place. And I know you're still just meeting with ministry leaders to figure out what different processes are, because different ministries kind of have some different needs and different things like that. So I know as you go on through the spring and summer, that'll start to take shape a little bit, but
each ministry will have an onboarding process, but like I said, we'll do training, but we'll do like a church type training that will make sure everyone's on the same page about our beliefs and expectations and the culture of the church. But then each ministry we'll have specific training for those roles within those ministries. So
awesome.
I'm super excited.
So what are you most excited about this new challenge? Because it's a lot, like you said, but you've mentioned the people piece that you love, but what are you most looking forward to?
Quite honestly, just seeing the growth in the individuals. And I know how I feel moving into the season of my life where I feel like I'm really living into the purpose that God created me for. So seeing that with the individuals and seeing it become part of our church family and our church life, and really grow in the kingdom, but being able to see it on an individual basis will be really cool for me.
Yeah. It's the best.
It is. That is my favorite thing, to see someone, reach their goals, because I still have memories and stories of individuals that we placed that was the most exciting, wonderful thing when they would call and say they finally made it, or finally got the job they wanted, or the paycheck they were looking for, or didn't have to live at home anymore. It's really cool to see that. Yeah.
I love seeing it that way, the kingdom that way, of realizing that we are each gifted to do different things, and that God didn't make a mistake by putting us all together. He has a plan and a purpose, and we're together because this is who he needs to be here at this time.
Yeah, and I think you and I were talking earlier about just me kind of having like this eye-opening moment where really understanding that we are uniquely created to live into what God wants us to do. And sometimes we just have to listen and pay attention and get out of our own way.
Take that step.
That. Yeah.
Yep. Easier said sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you need a little shove.
That's right. Divine shove in the back.
Down the stairs.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome, Beth. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your heart a little bit on that. We're excited to come up into this next series, which is a serving series from Philippians 2. And I know as you guys as you get settled, that things will take shape, but we'll have your information here in the video too. And I know you mentioned the Connect cards if you're here on a Sunday.
And just on another little note, we will have opportunities during those serve series to really connect in different ways as well. So stay tuned.
Okay. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.